thanks for stopping by Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. Make sure you are subscribed and checking out the bell icon down there. As always, like, comment, and share. What am I going to be talking about today? What's this video about? Well, today I want to talk, kind of doing a little bit more follow-up to my video the other day where I took the United States military to task for their new recruitment ads, and how we juxtapose that with the Russian and the Chinese recruitment ads, and a little bit from my war memorial video in the Rochester, Minnesota area. Today I am in my hometown, and I am at the war memorial in my hometown. It's right next to the local historical society museum, and I'm going to show you this real quick. Obviously, there have been other wars now since the Vietnam War, and we've lost others. But what is the point? Why is TC sitting here doing yet another video talking about the military, and what does that have to do with this channel? Well, most of you know I'm a vet, and so I take things about the military quite seriously. And I guess what I'm trying to convey, what I want to convey in all of this, is why I was so upset about what I saw in our new recruitment ad. And in part of it, it is sparked by a conversation I had with someone I love very dearly, and that individual was struggling a little bit with why I would be so upset with people who were collectivists wanting to join the military, which seems to be kind of a collectivist mentality. And they asked a valid question. I think we were talking past each other quite a bit, which is, I'm pretty guilty of that at times. But I guess what I want to say is that there's a very, very powerful reason why appealing to collectivists, appealing to Marxists, in their collectivist mentality, to join a fighting force like the United States military is dangerous, and it's pivotal that we understand why it's dangerous. See, the United States is a nation, a geographical, geopolitical force, but it's also an ideal. The ideal of the United States is hinged on individualism, on individual liberties. It's hinged on individual freedoms. It's also hinged on individual responsibility. And so to forward and propagate and advance the ideas of constitutional republicanism as you see in the United States, and as is brought about by American ideology. You have to have in that a group of people who share those values, who share those ideas. And so while the military may, to some degree, be a form of collectivism, the issue isn't whether or not the military is a form of collectivism. The issue is who are the people that make up the collective in that group. And so the collectivism of the military, by and large, functions because the people that are making it up are individualists. They're volunteerists. They cherish individualism. They cherish individual liberty. And they cherish individual pursuits of life and freedom and happiness. And they're willing to, in their individualism, join a collective of individuals to propagate and advance a mindset, an ideology of constitutional republicanism and liberty, as we see enshrined in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, and invoked in the Declaration of Independence, and really kind of formulated in the inception of the United States when the Mayflower Compact was written. See, an individualist, a volunteerist, can join a collective for the propagation of individualist and Republican ideals. Republican as in ideology, not as in the political party. But they can join into a collective to advance those ideas, into a group to advance those ideas and become part of a fighting team meant to protect those ideas around the nation and around the world, and to protect those ideas from threats from around the world. They absolutely can join and be part of that. The problem with the ad that we saw the other day come out from the United States Army, and by the way, the United States military has now closed comments on their YouTube channel because they were getting so much pushback. And so instead of apologizing and taking that ad down, they just closed comments because, liberty and freedom of speech when it comes to American governmental institute. But anyway, the reason why it's dangerous is because we're recruiting Marxist collectivists into the military by appealing to their collectivist mentality and their critical theory, whether it be critical race theory, critical gender theory, critical sexual theory, critical whatever theory. We're appealing to this Marxist ideology. We're appealing to their collectivist mentality. We're telling them, come and bring your collectivist ideas in and join a collective of fighting forces to advance your ideas. They're not advancing the ideals that have made America strong and have made America great. They're advancing ideas that they love and that they want to engender, no pun intended, but take it for what it is. And so as they gather to learn to be a fighting force, which they won't do very well because they're all very, very self-centered, even though they're collectivists, they're very self-centered. It's always about them and their greater good. And I know individualists sound like it's always about them, but what individualists do is they strive to achieve the ideals of their nation for the greater good of their nation, which then in turn brings about, fosters the greater good of the individual. Collectivists believe that it's the role of their team, the role of their nation, the role of their government to be about the collectivist greater good. And so they gather into a collective that's about advancing their ideals. And the ideals of collectivism, the ideals of Marxism, which is nothing more than, collectivism is nothing more than Marxism. The ideals of the current frame of mind of the people that they're appealing to, that are all woke and engendering the collectivist Marxist mentality, is the advancement of Marxism. That's it. It's their advancement of their ideal. And so now we're training them to fight for our nation. That's going to end very poorly. Because they're not going to advance the ideas of individualism and volunteerism. They're not going to advance republicanism. They're only going to advance Marxist collectivism through their training. And they're going to use the military to advance that agenda. That will end poorly for us in the United States. Not only will people be killed needlessly, sometimes there's a time to die, but not only will people be killed needlessly, they're going to be killed because we're trying to advance an agenda that is antithetical to the American Republic. Antithetical. It's undeniable. It's impossible to avoid. There's no room for collectivists. There's no room for Marxists in the military of the United States. The goal of the military of the United States was to protect the freedoms of this nation, to protect the liberties, and protect the Constitution from foreign threats and from domestic threats. That's their role. And one of the greatest threats to us domestically, one of the greatest threats to us as a republic, is the Marxist ideology that has been force-fed to the vast majority of people in the government school systems. And that's why the ads that we are running now to recruit them into our military have to appeal to their Marxist collectivist mentality. There can be no place for collectivism, Marxism, Marxist collectivism, the communitarian ideology in the United States military. Individualists and volunteerists can join and be part of a fighting team meant to advance our agenda. But collectivists will be the downfall of this nation. And they're going to kill the roots of the plant of democracy, of the tree of liberty in the United States, by poisoning it with a Marxist collectivist military. Think on that. And until next time, do not worry about your safety. Live to be free. Sic semper, tyrannis.